Welcome back to Ladies of Another View. I'm back, and we just got some good news that the Florida Senate passed the Parental Rights and Education Bill. Now it's going to go to the desk of DeSantis to be signed into law.
Amen.
Amen.
Right? Let's worry about crayons, not what gender we are.
Yeah, from
Right.
kindergarten to third grade. So, like, I agree with you, Mary. It should be all through school.
Yeah, that was Lori, but we think the same.
Sure seemed like it was you.
15 seconds, Patty.
I don't know. You know, what we should share with, why did you say that, Mary? Do you want to explain?
Because it said it in my ear that, when we're on a time clock, and I just was thinking it in my head, and I just blurted it out. 15 seconds.
Because it went into your head. So this is a warning to producers. Be careful what you say, because we may be saying it to everybody when it comes through our head. I want to switch gears here. We're going to talk about Biden's Supreme Court nominee, who is Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, a black woman, because we were told it would be a black woman.
A female
Had
and
to be
black,
a black woman. And, like, it couldn't just be because of her credentials. Like, you know what? We know what you care about anyway. She has to be pro-abortion, because in the past, there have been blacks, there have been black women that the Democrats fought hard against their nomination, against them becoming judges, because they don't care about if they're black or whatever, or what gender they are. They just care if they're pro-abortion. Let's face it. Let's watch this little video and we'll talk more about it.
My life has been blessed beyond measure, and I do know that one can only come this far by faith.
Judge Jackson claims that her faith guides her. She was formerly a board member at Montrose Christian School, whose mission statement claims, quote, "We should speak on behalf of the unborn and defend life from conception to natural death." However, she has abandoned these values and gone to bat for the abortion industry time and again in court. Her former clients include NARAL and the Abortion Access Project of Massachusetts, among others. The Biden administration claims that many people of faith support her, but Catholics on that list, they represent groups completely at odds with church teaching, such as Catholics for Choice. In the case McGuire versus Riley, Jackson advocated for the prevention of sidewalk counselors outside of abortion facilities by creating so-called buffer zones, violating the free speech of pro-life Bay Staters. Make no mistake, with this nomination, President Biden is doubling down on an unfortunate promise to only appoint justices who support the undemocratic findings in Roe versus Wade. That is anything but just.
I'm personally triggered. Very triggered right now, because
15 seconds.
thank you. I have 15 seconds to be triggered, because this is sexist. I mean, and racist. Because what if the Supreme Court didn't want a woman or a man? They wanted the they, their, them, I-O-U.
Stay tuned next time.
No, and I mean, since we're being silly on something that is, I mean, does anybody else think that Biden kind of looked like a android in the back? He's kind of stood there blinking.
He always does.
Without a mask, oddly enough. No, I think it's a huge disservice, because regardless of her political views, if she supports certain things or doesn't support certain things, she is a woman, she is intelligent, she is well educated, she should rise on her own accord. And why does Biden feel the need to virtual signal a black woman? Why can't he just nominate somebody that deserves the spot? And she just happened to be. Like, why did he have to virtual signal the fact that he was, appeasing somebody by having a black woman? It discredits her in a way that I think is very unfair to her.
Yeah, they should have never started it. He should have never said, I want to appoint a black woman. He just said we're going to appoint a qualified person to this, and then they could have still done it without saying it. But my thing about her, I mean, I know people have their political views and she is pro-abortion, but it's just very hard for me when they start out by, I believe in God, and it's always like, how do you have such a deep faith, but yet you still believe in abortion? Those two to me will never go together. So I don't know. That's just my distaste in it. She's probably highly qualified, but
Well, and she is very qualified. I mean, her accolades, she's very, very qualified. But now this is going to be hanging over her head for the rest of her life. How would you like to be, oh, you were only hired because you were a black woman? No, you want to be known that you were hired because of what you studied, what you believe in, what you know that you can bring to the table. It has nothing to do with race or gender. Where are the women's rights right now? You know, talking about, you know, people who want to embolden women, all right? That's a slap in the face for anyone that says you were only hired because you were a woman and you were only hired because you were black and a black woman at that. And it's like, wouldn't you rather be known that you were hired because they could count on you to do the job? I think it's a slap in the face to women, and black women especially.
And it's racism. It's racism. Okay, there's a Hispanic, there's a black, there's a woman, more than one woman. But no, now we got to do a black woman. And the secret is, of course, she has to be pro-abortion. They don't have to, everybody knows that, of course. They don't make any secret about that. But like you say, who wants that hanging over their head? Because you're supposed to be colorblind. You're supposed to have every opportunity that every other person based on your merit, based on your ability. And we're not supposed to look at the color of their skin, except sometimes we look at the color of their skin if it suits us, because if they're conservative, then, you know, then we throw it in their face. Then they're so racist. They call them Uncle Toms. I mean,
look at Candace Owens.
They hurl racism at them like, oh, it's a black face but a white tongue. They have said that about some of the blacks that are conservative. So it's amazing how racist they are.
They're just hypocrites, and it's becoming my absolute biggest pet peeve is the word hypocrites and people acting hypocritical, and they're just showing the hypocrisy of what's good for me is not good for you, and the whole point is if we had said, well, we're gonna get a white woman in there or a white
my
man.
gosh.
No, you can't.
And that's the thing. No, and you can't. And that's what's wrong with it.
White man, can you imagine? Oh, hell would break loose. We want a white man.
Right. And are they gonna pull up the dirt on her like they did with any other person that they've pulled up? And Biden virtual signaling that he's gonna have this black woman into the Supreme Court. I mean, he's filibustered how many blacks and women Supreme Court nominations through his 50 years.
I know when you go back at their records, both like Kamala and Biden and stuff, and they've been against women, but they weren't on the right political side. So it has nothing to do with being a woman and women's rights. It's, are you on
Kamala
Democrat?
isn't even, I would even say Kamala isn't even in the same category as even this Supreme Court
She knows
nomination.
that there's some European countries that are in trouble, though.
That's good because Russia's big.
Russia's
and
a
they're
big
small.
country.
She
And
should
they're
have maybe
next to a smaller country.
Maybe instead of during her years of dating P. Diddy, she should have been studying a little bit more of what's going around the world instead of, getting her way to the top the way she did. So.
Well, next week we're going to have Carol Swain on the show, and it's going to be great to get her opinion on this.
I love her.
What is that going to be about?
Well, she's going to be at the Belle Mayhouse on Tuesday. It's going to be about CRT in our school systems.
Wow.
And she's a black woman.
And she's a black woman, and
But
she's going to be right here.
But the left doesn't like her.
No.
They don't recognize her as an accomplished black woman because she's speaking with a white tongue, according to them. Like
Or
you can't
common
have a
sense.
mind of your own. Yeah.
Nope. You can't have common sense or a mind of
You
your own,
can't be
otherwise you're
conservative.
racist.
You cannot be pro-abortion. If you're not pro-abortion, then they're against you. They don't care what color you are. They really don't care. And I was just thinking about this the other day. You know what's wrong with our country? First, we took God out of school. We took prayer out of school. Then we took sex out of marriage. And then we took babies out of their mother's womb. Yes. And that is wrong. And that is all the left is about.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, they are big proponents of all that stuff.
That leans towards Marxism too. They want to get rid of the family unit. They want to get rid of religion. They want you just to be a walking, talking robot, and they're working hard on it.
Well, and that really goes to the Great Reset. You'll own nothing and you'll never be happier. You won't own your body, you won't own your mind, you won't own your thoughts, really is what it comes down to. And they're taking it little by little, and I think it's been happening for decades. We're just now starting to see it put in play.
Traditional Christian family values are the enemy of this culture.